I said it once and I'll say it again, this is my favorite bike. I have no intention of getting rid of it, so I would not be surprised if in 5 years' time we have a 10-year review coming out. And that time is now. The OG Honda Grom, 10 years of ownership. A lot can happen in 5 years, or 10 years. 5 years ago, I was just starting this channel, really. I had a couple hundred subscribers talking about the Grom here, talking about my old Benelli, even talking about the DRZ that I had at the time that I kind of forgot that I owned, and it seems like everyone else did because that's my lowest viewed video on the channel. And since then, the channel has transformed. The concept is the same, but the bikes went electric and multiplied by a lot. Even more so, I'm hiding one. My wife's a saint. But one thing has been consistent, the OG Honda Grom, although admittedly this thing has served more as a shelf than a mode of transportation the last couple years, but we can fix that. Here in San Diego, we have a bit of a charity challenge going on right now called the Moto Coffee Run. You get this nice little passport and a list of coffee shops across the entire county, and every time you visit one of those, you get a nice little stamp in your passport. All the proceeds go to Movember Men's Health. So why not do the entire Moto Coffee Run on the Grom here? I can complete the challenge while at the same time putting some much needed miles on this. Win-win. That said though, I had a pretty rough start. Supposedly the coffee shop is here somewhere. This is a weird way to start. This is just condos. Hey, a Grom. I mean, at least I'm getting the obscure ones out of the way. Is this it? It's 7-Eleven. Said it opened at 7. Oh, that was a bust, and with a lovely sprawling metropolis like this, I can't imagine why. But there's plenty of other spots I can go, so I just gotta pop to the other side of that freeway and go down the road a few miles to their other location. Same coffee place, different location. So we'll see if that one's open. All right, first one in the books. I know this was a long stretch, so I wasn't sure where I'd find it, but pretty easy to find. All right, coming up on number 2. There it is. All right, stop number 2 on the books. I thought I was gonna do more, but maybe 3 is just gonna be it because I'm starting to feel like that, whatever that episode was with Fry and Futurama where he's trying to do 100 coffees. And just like that, literally like 2 blocks later, we're at the next spot. Oh, God help me. The old Grom is doing pretty good considering this is the first time I've taken it out in who knows how long. Hasn't skipped a beat, which is good considering what this needs to go through the next month or so. Good time to mention the reliability of this bike. It's pretty common knowledge that Hondas are reliable, and this is the epitome of that. It's simple. It's a 125cc air-cooled engine that just won't die. Even after this bike is sat for months untouched, I just put in the key and it started right up, like I started it yesterday. But things do break. Nothing's truly indestructible, so let's go over everything that's been broken. I'll try to go chronologically. The first thing that happened like a month or 2 after I got this bike was the clutch collar in this pack. It just started squealing like crazy, and for whatever reason it just instantly burned itself out, so I had to replace that. It's basically like a big thick washer sleeve that sits behind the clutch basket and helps it move back and forth. Then some front end changes here. I had to replace a few things like the rotor and the axle. Both of those got bent because the bike got run over. Not its fault, but shit happens. Then some electrical issues. For whatever reason, the stator in this thing just absolutely fried itself, so it wouldn't charge the battery, and then it killed the battery, so I had to replace both of those and actually replaced it with an upgraded one from the next generation of this bike, the SF. Then we make our way back over to the clutch because this had some much needed work here. Basically everything was seizing up in there and had to be replaced. Not just the plates and the springs, but the whole clutch basket itself. This one was more recent because of the sheer number of miles that I was putting on this, and the basket itself was so notched out that when I started this bike up, no matter how much I let it warm up and everything, when I went to pull in the clutch and click down into first, the second it went into first, it would just die because it was like I was doing it without even holding in the clutch. The clutch lever was doing nothing. It was just that stuck. But all of these are fairly cheap and easy to replace, and some of them are even wear items that would have eventually needed to be replaced regardless. All right, we're back at it. It's another week and another attempt, I think, today with that first one. See if it's actually open. But I think I'll make a couple stops on the way, make that the last one. First one down. Probably the best drip coffee I've had so far. But we don't have the jitters yet. Next stop. One more place off the list, and this one actually sold Topo Chico, so I just got one of those so that way I don't have to be that caffeinated for the day, but with that, we're almost done with the South Bay. I just need to go back to the one that I tried to start last week, and we'll see if it's actually open. At least this time, I know exactly where I need to go.
Hi, good morning. Perfect, thank you.
It was open this time. Mission success. And while we're here, might as well check out Mexico. Whoa. You know, I've been across this border many times, but I've never actually seen the border. Crazy. It would be cool to go across and get the Grom in another country, but wrong passport. Alright, this morning is going to be a marathon because there's a bunch by the beach. So I figure since I'm going there, might as well knock all of them out. And I'm not as worried about the jitters this time because I have a plan. So the game plan today is small portions. I'm thinking espressos only for all of these locations, and I have my travel mug. So I'll take a sip, see how it is, pour the rest into the mug, and keep going. Well, so far so good. We're knocking them out pretty easily. The only trouble is my Bluetooth on my helmet died, so I can't listen to my music. Well, today has been an adventure and a half. I'm still on the bike and it's 3:30 almost. I mean, so much so that I realized that the gloves that I have on that I've had for quite a while now have been tearing and ripping through in the palms, so I actually stopped by Cycle Gear and picked up a whole new set, so now I'm just breaking them in. In a sense, I guess it's nostalgia, because back in the day when I got this bike for the first couple years, if I had a free weekend, that's what I would do, is I would just take this out, fill it up, and then ride around until I had to fill it up again. And it's nice to know that after a decade, this thing can still keep up. Oh, it's way too early. It's just past 6 o'clock in the morning. I didn't think I'd be cold on any of these journeys, but I'm cold. The reason for that is I'm whittling down the list. So far, I've gone to all the local spots, everything that's close to me, just little trips every morning just to kind of knock them out. But now we're getting to the ones where there's a little bit of a distance. So today, basically, I'm riding the entire length of the county from south to north and back again, of course. So it's going to take me quite a while, basically double, because I'm using all surface streets, can't touch the freeway. We're getting there, and welcome to one of the richest zip codes in the entire city. Of course, you wouldn't know that because all you see is trees. It's that rich. They have really high foliage, so you can't see anything, and every single neighborhood entrance has its own TSA. Oh, we made it. We are out here. But we're not done yet, because since I'm up here, might as well hit up a couple other ones. There's a few more heading towards the ocean, westward, but actually I have to go north a little bit. I think this is probably the furthest north that this bike has ever gone. Also in exciting news, this bike is going to turn over to 24,000 miles at this point. Oh, we made it to Vista, and we hit that 24,000 mark. 24,004 miles. Still runs like it's brand new.
Now, every time that I mention that this bike has over 20,000 miles, I inevitably get the comments that say, that's nothing, you need to ride your bike more, I just did 1,000 miles last week, blah, blah, blah. And if you're that sensitive about it, or actually do those kind of miles, then good for you. I think that's still pretty good considering the sheer number of bikes that I've rotated through over the years and also have put miles on. But it has also taught me that if you properly maintain these kind of bikes and don't go too crazy on the modifications, then they're gonna last you an absolute lifetime. And the maintenance is easy. This will sound like a long list, but keep in mind that this bike has been here over a decade. The most common is oil changes, obviously. I go through about 2 a year, so I'm at probably oil change number 20 at this point. But in addition, this bike has gone through 1 set of brake pads, which is going to turn into 2 soon, 1 set of brake rotors, 2 sets of clutch discs, 3 sets of tires, 3 sets of chains and sprockets, 1 clutch cable, 1 set of throttle cables, 1 clutch basket, 2 air filters, and a set of swing arm bushings. I've also replaced a few things on this bike before they broke, mostly for reassurance, one of them being the entire cam chain assembly. That's the chain, the sprockets, the rollers, and the tensioner. Then when this bike hit 20,000 miles on the dot, I decided to fully replace the top end. Piston, rings, jug, everything, which was totally unnecessary. It looks brand new in there, and I could have just put it right back together, but I had the parts. At the rate that this thing is going, I'm never gonna have to change that piston ever again.
Well, that's the last one for the day. I only did 3 today, but they were the most northern 3, so I did the most mileage, I think, so far, almost 100 miles at this point, and I still have at least 50 to go to get home. But I might as well, since I'm up here, take the scenic route, head straight to the beach, and then just follow that all the way home.
Let's talk mods for a second. Mods and Groms go together like PB&J. You can't eat just one. That's not right. Every Grom owner has put at least one modification on their bike, and I'm no different, although I tend to go the road less traveled when it comes to modifications because mine is just kind of a spattering of things here and there with just a few things in mind. Primarily, I wanted to go with comfort, acceleration, and some performance in mind, but also wanting to keep the stock bore and its reliability. All right, let's see how quickly I can get through all the modifications on this bike. Generally speaking, we have comfort in the form of suspension all the way around, YSS rear shock, and Öhlins front forks with a comfy saddleman seat in the middle. It is a stock bore, but it also has a cam, oil spinner delete, light and flywheel, carbon intake, exhaust, and a reflash. I also did some drivetrain modifications with one less tooth in the front and converted it from a 420 to a 428 chain and sprocket conversion. Oh, and so I'm at least heard, if not seen. That has come in handy a lot of times.
Well, we finally made it in our journey. This is the last day, and I've saved the best for last. We've taken a lovely scenic tour of East County, my old neck of the woods. We got our first stop in the books, and now we got another 20 miles of roads that look like this. What's waking me up more, these roads or the coffee? It's hard to say. Just like that, we've transported back in time to an old country western gold mining town. Ignore the EV. Whew, we made it. Last spot. That was such a fun road, despite the traffic. Although I made it fun. Very scenic regardless. Absolutely beautiful day.
We did it! 30 stops, 5 weeks, over 600 miles, and at least 3,000 milligrams of caffeine. I'm still feeling it. Not that I ever doubted the Grom in the first place, it's just another item to put in the pro category is that this bike just always starts up. Even if it's 100 degrees out, even if this bike has been sitting for 6 months, even if I'm out on the open highway with sustained high RPM for miles on end, it won't die. Ultimate reliability. It's no wonder I've kept this bike around for so many years with absolutely no plans to sell it, and it also helps the fact that if I were to sell it, I'd be selling this thing for pennies on the dollar with the sheer amount of modifications and money that has gone into this bike. So much so that it makes more financial sense for me to keep this bike and keep it running than it would be for me to get rid of it. And that is boy math. But that's why the Grom here is the GOAT. It may not go that fast, but it has 100 miles per gallon, dead reliable, fun as hell, and is gonna turn way more heads than your average brother. I swear, I still get asked about this thing almost every time I go out. So thanks for watching. See you next decade.